Have you ever felt like you were created for more? Like there was a bigger purpose waiting for you to step into? Welcome to A Dose of Belief, the podcast that fuels your faith, sharpens your mindset, and equips you to boldly live in your purpose. Each week, I'll bring powerful insights, set up dynamic interviews with high achievers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who turn belief into breakthrough. This isn't just motivation, it's your weekly reminder that you were made to make a difference. I'm your host, Christian Martinez, and you are listening to A Dose of Belief. Welcome back to A Dose of Belief. I am excited to be with you guys today. Today's episode, we're going to talk about leaving your comfort zone. One of the things that you're going to inevitably have to do is leave your comfort zone. Now, the good news is you have to leave the comfort zone. The bad news is that this is where you're going to get nervous, right? And so for me, one of the things that I want you to understand is that when you leave your comfort zone, growth begins just at the edge where it feels safe. You know, this is something that I believe we all need to learn. We all need to get comfortable with and understand that comfort protects what is, but courage creates what could be. Today, I'm going to share a few videos with you that I want to help drive the point of why it's so important that we leave our comfort zone. The first clip that I want to share with you today is from the movie Pursuit of Happyness. And what happens is in the movie, Will Smith is in the process of trying to sell some machines, right? He sells Xerox scanners and he has to sell them to make a living. But then he meets some people and he does some networking. He gets offered an opportunity because of his tenacity to come interview for a job. And what happens is he goes through this rigorous process to actually get an interview. And then he realizes that he doesn't want the job. Why? Because as he gets there, he realizes that he has to do it for free. Now, how many of you have gone to a job and got the interview, and then you, at the end of the job, you would say, hey, not only are you going to work for free, but you're not going to get paid, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get hired. That's what happens here. He gets told that he's going to be doing this internship, and he chooses to, despite what's going on, say, you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to show up for my son, and I'm going to do this because being productive isn't just about making money, but it's about walking in your purpose. And delay is going to cause you to become more obedient and more focused on what you're called to do. The purpose doesn't wait for you to validate it, right? When you're called to do something, you may never get a moment like this. And so what he decided to do is he said, listen, and he was good with numbers. He was good with opportunities. He said something in the movie that has resonated with me for a long time. And it took me watching the movie again to really remember what he said when he sat there and he said, listen, all you have to do is get me in front of the person and I guarantee you I can close them. And that's the kind of confidence that you need to have if you're going to leave your comfort zone and walk in your purpose. Your actions are going to build momentum if you continue to step and take another step and take another steps. Thoughts don't build legacies, but actions do. Now, for me, when I think about leaving your comfort zone, oftentimes it's something very simple, but sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to take some kind of courage for you to step outside the box, whether it's investing in yourself or doing something really big. You're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone, and it's not going to feel comfortable, but that's okay. This is where the rubber meets the road and where you're going to walk in your purpose. The second thing that I want to talk to you about today is forget it and drive on. Now, this is a concept that I learned when I was in the Air Force and I was overseas for the first time and I was in a joint environment. And what they were talking about is letting go of things that you can't control, or if something happens, just move on. And one of the movies that I thought was really painted the picture of this was Creed. And specifically in Creed 2, where Adonis, goes and he has a fight and then he loses. And what happens is in this scene, he gets beat and then he starts to train again. And Rocky in the scene questions, why do you want to fight? And he's like, I told you. I told you why I want to fight. He's like, no, you told me why you wanted to fight the first time. These guys have something to prove. These guys are trying to do something. I'm wondering, why do you want to fight? And the question is, when something happens that is outside of your control, are you going to keep fighting? Are you going to be able to reset after a loss? Are you going to be able to get back up and keep moving forward and get outside of what's comfortable? Listen, sometimes you'll get knocked down. I remember watching one of the fighters that I used to love watching, and her name was Ronda Rousey, and she ended up getting beat in a fight, and then she came back and got beat again. And one of the things that I realized from watching her is that it was easy when she was winning, but when she got beat, she went away, she came back, she got beat again, and then it didn't seem like, for me, that she had a heart of a champion. And my challenge to you is, you're gonna have to develop some calluses if you're going to win. Sometimes you're gonna get knocked down. I remember reading an article where this lady, she's older, I don't remember her age, but she ended up taking the driver's test over, I think it was over 600 or 900 times. I will tell you, do you have that type of determination? Some people would just give up and be like, you know what? It's not meant to be after test 3 or 4, right? They'd be like, you know what? I'm not driving. But when life pushes back, how are you going to stand up? Not every moment are you going to have to explain yourself or have to justify what you're doing. You just need to have the conviction of where you're trying to go. Your momentum, your motion is going to restore the clarity that you need. And that's all that matters. You don't need to heal by replaying the moment, but you do need to heal by moving forward. Today's episode is brought to you by Leadership Legacy, our impact partner sponsor. Leadership Legacy exists to help organizations grow from the inside through leadership training, customer service development, and culture transformation. Their approach is interactive, immersive, and values-driven, creating experiences that don't just inspire, but actually stick. If you're serious about excellence and bringing the best out of your people, Leadership Legacy is a trusted partner. They equip leaders, empower teams, and enrich cultures. To find out more, you can check out the show notes or go to www.christianrmartinez.com/culture and get to know a little bit more about their business. Now, let's get back to the show. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you about, small wins build strong confidence. Now, oftentimes, what I've seen people do is they struggle with building momentum. And that's because they give themselves these big goals, right? They give themselves, people call them BHAGs, right? Big, audacious, hairy goals, right? And I don't want you to do that. I want you to give yourself some small wins along the way so that you can build what's called micro belief. And when you build micro belief, what tends to happen is you build momentum, you build speed, and you build the ability to adjust and change, right? This is not imagining. This is actually creating momentum. And a clip that depicts this the most, the best, is watching Moneyball. When I watched the movie, it was so funny. The A's had just lost one of their best players. And in this scene in particular, what tends to happen is the manager comes in and he's like, listen, we need to change the way that we do things. We can't replace a great player and try to find a great player. That hasn't been working for us. But what we can do is increase our odds of winning by increasing the amount of time that people get on base. And what he was saying is, listen, we need to get 3 people that can get on base more often than anybody else. And he's right. The odds are in your favor. If you can get on base, there's so many things that happen. The pitcher tends to get nervous because now they're liable to maybe lose a run for their team. If you get on base, that person can steal a base. It rattles the pitcher and it rattles the team and it puts them on edge. But if you never get on base, guess what happens? That person is comfortable. So what micro wins can you develop right now in your life to start influencing your growth and build your authority, right? Confidence isn't built by dreaming. It's built by creating small wins over time so that you can, as I love to say, dominate your space. Now, The last scene that I want to share with you guys today is reframe the moment and reclaim the mission. The next clip that I want to share with you is from Facing the Giants, and it revolves around reframing the moment and reclaiming the mission. Listen, failure can become fuel if you allow it. Now, in this movie in particular, what happens is the coach goes to this player and he's explaining to him that every time they do this drill, he doesn't make it to the 50-yard line. And what he realizes is that this player in particular is strong, but he tends to not give 100% effort. Let me ask you this. Where in your life right now are you not giving 100%? I promise you, you can give more. I promise you, you can do more. I promise you that there is an ability to go to another level in what you're doing. You have more talents and abilities that you're given right now. And I'm challenging you to step into that. Now, I'm going to show you this clip because this is a powerful clip. But in the clip, the coach says, I want you to put this guy on your back and I want you to go to the 50-yard line. But wait, there's something that I want you to do as well. I want you to cover your eyes. And so what he does is he calls him over, he blindfolds him, and he tells him, I don't want you to stop until I tell you to stop. And you're going to go to the 50-yard line. And he tells him to start going, and he goes. And the guy starts complaining. His body starts to feel what feels normal. Like, hey, this is where I normally give up. And he starts to say, I know, it feels like I got to the 50. And then the coach just keeps pushing him. You can give me more. You can give me more, Brock. You can give me more. And what he's doing is he's trying to show him that if you push a little bit more, if you give a little bit more, if you get just outside your comfort zone, you're not going to fail. If you get just outside your comfort zone, you can push further than you'd ever thought before. And what happens in that scene, he gets all the way to the end zone. He falls down. The coach is like, all right, you're good. He takes the blindfold off and he says, he's like, I gotta have made it to the 50-yard line. And the coach says, you're in the end zone. This is why I want you to push past your comfort zone, because you got more to you. And if you give this type of effort every day, your team will give that type of effort. Listen, sometimes all we need to do is see somebody give more for us to show up better. And I'm challenging you right now. I don't want you to wait for somebody else to do it. Be the first to go outside your comfort zone. Be the first to claim the moment and reclaim the mission, to go out there and dominate, right? But the only way that you do that is choosing growth over comfort. Deciding that you're going to take one small step today towards your vision, your purpose, and the mission that you've been called to make a difference in this world. Right now, I need you to release whatever it is that's holding you back and move forward. Leaving your comfort zone isn't something that you do once. It's something that you practice daily. Now, discomfort that you're avoiding, it may be the very thing that's going to shape you into who you're becoming. As we wrap up, if today's episode sparked a dose of belief in you, don't let it stop there. Belief grows when it's shared and lived out. You can tune in weekly for conversations that strengthen your mindset, sharpen your leadership, and encourage you to keep moving forward. And if this episode encouraged you, consider sharing it with someone who could use a reminder to believe again. If you'd like to go a step further, you can also become an impact sponsor, helping us continue this work beyond the podcast. Through your support, we help feed the homeless, partner with schools to provide leadership training, and create opportunities that truly make an impact. And if you're ready to deepen your own belief, consider grabbing a copy of Unstoppable Belief, available at unstoppablebelief.com or on Amazon. Thank you for being a part of this community. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep moving forward.